On November 16, 2022, when asked if he would be moving to Saudi Arabia, Cristiano Ronaldo told the world,
"That's not what motivates you. You want to keep at the top."
Exactly, because I thought I still believe that I can score many goals and help the team.
But just 2 months later, despite being only 1 year removed from scoring 18 goals in the Premier League, the iconic Portuguese forward is chosen to finish his final years as a footballer in Saudi Arabian obscurity. And there's only one reason why. Ronaldo traded the best league in the world for the best contract in the world, earning an obscene $200 million a year, which got me thinking, when else have I seen this before? What are the most blatant, money-hungry transfer moves we've ever seen? I did some digging, crunched some numbers, and here's what I got. Get ready to give in your 2 weeks notice as we take a closer look at 5 times great players sold out for big money. Welcome back to the channel, guys. You're watching the Sideline Starters, and my name is Andy, first team all sideline. Do me a favor and hit that like button to help the channel grow. And without further ado, let's get started. Number 5, Hulk moving to Russia and China. It's only right that we start with a player that didn't sell out just once, but twice in his career. Givanildo Vieira de Sousa was better known to the world as Hulk, for obvious reasons. The Brazilian forward was an absolute star during his time with league champions Porto in the Liga Portugal. He was voted as the league's player of the month a record 6 times and registered 54 goals and 45 assists in league play, for a total of 99 goal contributions in 99 appearances. His incredible size, skill and power had him heavily linked with a move to Chelsea, but in the summer of 2012, Russian club Zenit St. Petersburg swooped in and signed him for 60 million euros, an astronomical fee at the time. The Russian Premier League was an afterthought in world football, despite Gazprom and Russian oligarchs doing their best to elevate the status of the league. Hulk would spend 4 years in Russia before leaving for big money again in the summer of 2016, signing for Shanghai in the Chinese Super League. The move came at a cost of £45 million, with the 29-year-old earning £320,000 a week. To put that into perspective, Kevin De Bruyne earns £400,000 a week today. So Hulk's wages 6 years ago were absolutely insane. Hulk would return to Brazil in his 30s in 2021, winning a treble as Atlético Mineiro's top scorer, but will always be remembered as having spent the prime years of his career in Russia and China, 2 countries with inferior competition when he could have played for a handful of elite clubs on the European stage. Number 4, Ashley Cole leaving Arsenal to join Chelsea. When your nickname around world football is Cashley Cole, there's no way you're missing out on this list. All-time great Ashley Cole lands at number 4 for his all-time betrayal of his boyhood club. The legendary left-back had made a name for himself as Arsenal's best ever academy product, starting for the senior team at the age of 18, going on to win the Premier League twice and the FA Cup 3 times with the Gunners. He was beloved by fans and lauded as potentially the best left-back in the world after Arsenal's invincible season, but the relationship quickly turned toxic in the summer of 2005, when Cole was found guilty of making contact with league rivals Chelsea over a possible move without informing Arsenal. He and his agent Jonathan Barnett were fined £100,000 by the Premier League, while Chelsea and then manager Jose Mourinho were fined £300,000 and £200,000 respectively. In his biography titled My Defense, Cole would reveal that he felt insulted by Arsenal's previous contract offer of £55,000 a week. The following summer, Arsenal offered him £70,000 a week instead, but the damage was already done. Chelsea had won back-to-back Premier League since Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich acquired the club in 2004, and the pieces were in place for the Blues to not only meet Ashley's demands but exceed them. On deadline day in the summer of 2006, Chelsea would sign Cole to a 5-year contract, earning a reported £90,000 a week. Cole would go on to become a Chelsea legend, winning the Premier League and Champions League once, and the FA Cup a record 4 more times, but will ultimately always be remembered by Arsenal fans as Cashley Cole, the modern-day mercenary who left for money. Number 3, Oscar leaving to join Shanghai. Now, from a player who signed for Chelsea, we move on to a player who left them. The story of Oscar is a disappointing one for Premier League fans and Brazilian fans in particular. Oscar had made a name for himself as a talented midfielder during his time in his home country, and was signed by the Blues for £25 million at just 20 years old. He burst onto the scene with a brilliant debut performance against a strong Juventus side in the Champions League group stage, scoring twice with a worldie, beating Gianluigi Buffon from outside the box. He began his Chelsea career wearing Drogba's number 11, but went on to adopt the legendary number 8 jersey instead, previously worn by club icon Frank Lampard. The boy would turn into a man in his 4 seasons with the club, winning the Premier League twice and becoming a Brazilian international in the process. But come Christmas time in 2016, Shanghai, the same club that signed Hulk that summer, announced they had agreed to personal terms with Oscar. The January move was reportedly worth £67 million, with Oscar set to earn £400,000 a week, which was 3 times more than what he was earning at Chelsea. It was all about the money, but to Oscar's credit, he was honest enough to admit it, telling The Guardian, "China has incredible financial power and sometimes makes offers that players can't refuse." He would go on to further reiterate that he signed for Shanghai to secure his family for generations to come, thus earning the number 3 spot in our countdown. Number 2, David Beckham coming to America. Our second to last entry will go down as one of the most entertaining and lucrative transfer sagas in the history of the game. In the early 2000s, it would have been hard to find an athlete more famous than David Beckham. He was the face of football, literally, with movie star good looks and a supermodel wife making him a global sex symbol. His growing celebrity had previously caused a rift with Sir Alex Ferguson, with the revered manager of Man United revealing in his biography, "David was the only player I managed who chose to be famous, who made it his mission to be known outside the game. I felt uncomfortable with the celebrity aspect of his life." Beckham would leave United as a result and sign for Real Madrid, becoming another piece of their Galacticos program. But after failing to win La Liga in 3 seasons and falling out with manager Fabio Capello, new club president Ramon Calderón announced Beckham would leave the club after the 2007 season. So it wasn't a matter of when, it was simply a matter of where. On January 11, 2007, Beckham announced that he would be playing for the LA Galaxy that summer. His contract made him the 3rd highest paid athlete on earth at the time, earning £490,000 a week for a total of £125 million over 5 years, figures only behind Tiger Woods and Michael Schumacher. But the most unique provision to Beck's contract wouldn't be the benefits he would receive as a player, but rather the potential to become an owner. He was granted the option of purchasing his own MLS franchise at the fixed price of $25 million after retirement. Funny enough, Beckham would patch things up with Fabio Capello and enjoyed his final 6 months with Los Blancos, securing their first La Liga title in 4 years, with President Calderón even attempting to block Beckham's move to LA once the season was over. But there was no going back. Beckham had arrived in America and had become the highest paid soccer player in the process. He would alienate himself from American fans, however, with several loan moves back to European giants during the MLS offseason. The perception was that Beckham was using America as nothing more than a stepping stone in building his international brand, with eyes on forming and owning his own football club, which he eventually would after the creation of Inter Miami CF in 2020. And despite winning 2 titles with LA in his final seasons in the MLS, he's still remembered by many as a great player that left Europe for money. And real quick, in the comment section below, let me know who you think should make this list, because I know I missed a few good ones. I better see debates in the comment section, guys. Now back to the video. And now for the number 1 spot on the list, Neymar moving from Barcelona to PSG. I'm sure you guys knew this was coming. I mean, who else could take the number 1 spot besides the single largest transfer in the history of the sport? Neymar's move to PSG changed the transfer market forever, inflating and impacting the perception of player value for the foreseeable future. If we wind the clocks back, we'll see that Neymar was a GOAT in the making. He was dubbed the next Pelé after leading the King's former club Santos to a Copa Libertadores trophy in 2011 at just 19 years old. By 2013, he'd be playing for Barcelona and would forge the greatest attacking trio in the history of football, alongside Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi. The 3 world-class forwards would simply be referred to as MSN, and would amass an inconceivable 122 goals amongst each other en route to completing the treble, securing La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the UEFA Champions League in 2015, as the football community acknowledged him as Lionel Messi's heir at Barcelona, with the Blaugrana accepting the boy from Brazil as one of their own. Neymar would also finish the 2016 club season with one of the best individual performances I've ever witnessed, as he single-handedly dragged Barcelona back from a 4-0 aggregate deficit against PSG, in what will forever be known as La Remontada. And as the old saying goes, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. Or in this case, if you can't beat 'em, go ahead and sign their most promising player. In August 2017, PSG announced they had triggered Neymar's €222 million release clause, making the most expensive transfer in football history official. Neymar would earn over €580,000 a week, making him the highest paid player in the world, earning more than even Cristiano Ronaldo did at the time. And if it seemed like everyone was only focused on the money surrounding the transfer, it's because they were. French football was and still is considered by many as an inferior league in terms of quality and competition when compared to La Liga, the Premier League, the Serie A, and the Bundesliga. The truth is, Neymar had everything in place to etch an incredible legacy at Barcelona, but instead he went to Paris, where the only achievement anyone would respect would be winning the Champions League, a feat Neymar has yet to accomplish in his 5 seasons with the Parisians. But who knows, maybe 2023 will finally be the year that PSG can win it all. But until then, the footballing world will remember Neymar as the greatest example of a great player who left his club for ultimately nothing more than a big paycheck. And that's all I got for today, guys. As always, I'm Andy, first team all sideline. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and smash that like button to see more video essays like these. Till next time, everyone.